Golden Acres. I'm Kim, and we're finally got our garden beds, one of them, made. We're gonna place and get it filled, and then pretty quickly have to get peas and stuff planted for the season. So we're getting it in place over here in the garden with the tractor, and then we're gonna be getting buckets of logs, we have like all these grass roots that we're gonna put down with some cardboard on top, then logs on top, and then soil. So that's the plan. All right, and here is the garden bed that we made out of fence post, or an old fence. So we'll paint the outside to keep it good, and the inside we lined with metal. So this will be a nice strong, and then protected garden bed. I'm just gonna sit in here for a second, and so you can kind of see it comes up to almost my shoulders. Granted, I'm leaning back for how tall it is, just below the knee for me, and I'm 5'4" So it's gonna be a nice sized garden bed and help with getting good soil and good drainage. have grass roots, which are about half decomposed and half trying to live. Cardboard down to keep the grass from pushing up through the dirt. And then we're going to bring over small logs and twigs and sticks, layer those down, and then put a layer of compost on top of that.
Yep. For what?
There's some that are stuck. Well, it's been a few days. We had a wonderful Easter. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. And we got about 2.5 inches of snow. The weather said snow. It also said no accumulation. So it was kind of a wild and rocky weekend. Lost battery on the camera. The temperature was dropping so quickly. We ended up, by the end of getting this full, weren't even dressed for the weather anymore. It was absolutely insane. And today is 55 and beautiful, bright sunshine. It's supposed to be 70s by the end of the week. Truly, truly Midwest issues. So, and it's not such a bad thing. You know, I have stuff out here that probably should have planted it last week when I had it scheduled. If you go back to my garden planning calendar video. But we got 2 inches of snow. And if I would have planted stuff last week, it would have stunted some things, possibly killed some things. Because even hardy seedlings, they're much more tender than their adult counterparts or their mid-growth counterparts. So I'm going to plant some peas out here really quickly, and then I will go over and show you the grass roots, where we got them from, because that's what most of this bed is filled with, and it is a resource that we had, and it's important to look at those resources, especially when we're in such a fertilizer shortage. Look at those resources you have. Those are going to break down fairly quickly. We will have to top this in the fall probably, but that's not a big deal. We'll top it in the fall, and I want to build my soil, so adding stuff later, no big deal, right? pile that I'm sitting on right now is a bunch of grass roots. And that comes from right next to me. We scraped grass roots off 2 of 3 concrete pads. This one next to us was the best, and literally the grass roots were just woven like this on top of the concrete pad. So worms were bringing in food, some of themselves were dying and they were feeding off of that, and it hadn't created a lot of dirt on there yet. So this is what we scraped off, and you can kind of see there's a few spots in here that are turning that dark brown black color, which is the grass roots decomposing. And if we come over here, it's where we scraped from to get that soil. Now, there's a little bit of stuff that was underneath of it that obviously was feeding the grass too. Some straw, corn stalk, but most of this is decomposed grass root. And right here is a good example. You can see all the roots, you can see the dead grass, and it is just decomposing like crazy just from sitting here. When we moved a bunch of that soil over, there were worms in it. So there's already worms in the garden bed. So this is a great resource that we happen to have. It's not easily accessible for a lot of people necessarily, because you're not going to get this much composted, broke down material just randomly. It usually has to be really intentional, or you need to abuse your concrete pads to have stuff end up like that. And so these big piles we're going to be filling garden beds with and possibly laying on the earth bed garden. The earth bed garden has a lot of loose soil, soft soil. It's just not as nutrient dense as I was hoping it was. And I thought it was when we tilled it up last fall. It was so soft. But you're only one generation away from garden soil just becoming regular old dirt. And as much as that sucks, that garden hasn't been a garden for at least 5 years from the previous owners. The Amish had it as a huge garden about 15 years ago, but the kids of the neighbors who owned it in between there, I'm not really sure what they did. I haven't asked. We haven't met that particular family yet, and honestly, that'd just be me being nosy. So it hasn't been one of those, hey, like, when was the last time this happened? What did you grow? I haven't done that interrogation yet, and maybe never will. We'll see. But thanks for being with us today. I hope this gives you inspiration for the things you find lying around your town. Whether if you live in town, it could be leaves, cleaning out other people's landscaping. If you live out in the country, there's so many different things you can do. We did a few logs in our garden beds, but you could do bigger logs. You could do different types of trees to get a kind of variety. You could do shrubs and logs mixed together. There's a lot of things you can do. So hopefully this was inspiration to figure that out on your own. Thanks for being with us today. If you like what we're doing, hit that like button. If you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button. And the best thing you can do if you really like our channel is share our videos with someone who you think would enjoy them. Thanks again. God bless.